How's it going, everyone? The Trout91 here for your regular Friday commentary. This is one I've wanted to do for a while now. I've had it on the back burner, in the back of my mind, even when I took that little commentary hiatus, if you would like to call it that. I had this commentary in the back of my mind, and I was waiting for the right moment to actually do it. So it's going to be today that actually happens. But before I say anything about that, I just want to talk briefly. This is some COD 2 PC. If you've never seen COD 2 before, what the hell have you been doing? But I suppose some of the younger chaps might not have played it or had a chance to check it out. But it kind of revolutionized first-person shooters in a way, and it certainly has paved the way for Call of Duties that have come out since, and first-person shooters in general, and I have massive respect for this game, not only for the fact that it revolutionized first-person shooters when it did first come out, but when Modern Warfare 2 was about to come out, when I was bored, had nothing to do, a few weeks before it came out, I bought COD 2 for the first time on Xbox, and it's one of the most pure first-person shooters, so simple, so excellent, that it just is outstanding to play, even to now. And I bought the PC version back at the start of the summer, just for, it was like a $5, so I thought, why not? I need something to play. Let's try and check it out on PC, because Xbox doesn't have anyone playing it, really. But today's commentary is called Decisions. Now, whether you choose to believe it or not, every single day you're faced with decisions, and those decisions really can impact the way that your life will pan out. There's a movie I watched a couple of months ago. It was called Mr. Nobody, and it was about this kid who was born into a family. His mother actually cheated on his father, and at one point they decide to split up, and his mother goes to the train station, his father comes with, and obviously the son comes, and the kid is named Nemo, funnily enough, a bit of a weird name, I will say, but either way, so you see them at the train station. He's got to make a decision whether to go with his father or his mother, and whatever decision he chooses will impact the way that his life pans out. And you don't actually know what the whole movie is about, because it does it in such an unusual order of the whole thing, because it takes flashbacks from when he was, I think, when he was, like, such a little baby, when he was about 10, when he was about 16 or 30... something like that. It's very odd order, very out of this world, surreal kind of movie. It doesn't really all make sense until the final 20 minutes, and the whole time you're like, this movie, I have no idea what's going on, but it's amazing. It's just amazing. And it talks about how all these small changes in the things that this kid does impacts his life and how it all pans out. The wives he chooses, basically everything gets changed by these small little things. I think there's one thing that pans out of someone's life changes because a guy who got laid off in Brazil is boiling an egg or something instead of doing something else with it. I don't know. It was a while. I can't remember exactly those small little details, but these small things that change your life. And I want to talk today about one small thing that changed my life. So, I suppose I should kind of start from the beginning. I have talked about how I got started with YouTube before, but I've never really, well, I think I might have said something about it, but I've never really gone into how everything all panned out. So, basically, when I was around 17, my friend who started posting some YouTube videos because he had a capture card built into his computer, he started posting those, and I used to really support him. I had always wanted to do something like that. You know, everyone has those moments where you're like, this is awesome, I wish I could show everyone this, and you want to record it. So obviously you do weird things, like you get your camera out, your digital camera, and you start recording your TV and doing weird shit like that. And eventually I caved in, bought myself a capture card. And I bought the Dazzle, and the Dazzle was a bit weird because for some reason the whole TV settings and all that, it didn't work properly. It came out in black and white, and it was a real pain in the ass, so I had to do some things to find out how to get it working. And for a long time I was very tempted to just give up because I couldn't figure out how to fix it. It was still in black and white, and no one's going to watch black and white videos. It would just be completely wrong. So I almost gave up, and then out of nowhere, I was determined not to have my efforts go to waste, and I decided to check out some videos on YouTube to see if anyone else had similar problems. Eventually, I found a video that taught me about this program you download, and you change the settings, and every time you start a recording, and it puts it into color. And then one other little decision I made after that was to pre-order World at War. So I pre-ordered World at War from Game. Anyone in the UK who knows about Game recently went bust company, but is now back in action. They were giving a pre-order bonus, which was to get the beta for World at War, which came out a month before the actual game. So I decided to pre-order the game, get the beta key. I got the beta key, one of the first people to get the beta key, get on the beta, and I decided to record some games, see if I did anything well. Recorded a couple games, and then for some reason I just decided, you know what, let's post some of this on the interwebs, on YouTube, because I'd seen a couple of people had posted videos before, and it might be something people want to see. So I decided to do that. And what do I know, within like a day, I had emails spamming my email inbox saying new subscribers, new comments, new everything. Everything was just blowing up out of nowhere, and for some reason, even though I'd only had a couple hundred subscribers within a couple months, at that time it was a huge number. So, you know, time passed, I went on with YouTube, got a little bit more famous, and at school and at college, sixth form, whatever you want to call it, it was time to decide what I wanted to do with my life almost. And it was, you know, you got to pick a uni and all that stuff and what you do. And to be honest, with school, I've never really been a huge interest in it. I've always kind of wavered through it, thinking everything will pan out eventually, and I didn't really pay much attention to my picks in uni. I picked one at Southampton as my first choice and one at Kent as my second. My studying was really lackluster for a lot of the time until the final moments before the exams. I really tried to buckle down and do what I did. Eventually I came out with a B and 2 C's. I was about from anywhere between 1 and 5 marks off the next grade, so realistically I could have had an A and 2 B's and gotten into Southampton, but no, you needed 3 B's to get into Southampton, and I ended up at Kent. And anyone who knows about Kent in Cambridge, it's a great place, but if you've been to the Medway campus, it is absolute dog shit. So I went off there, learnt a lot of things about myself and everything. I originally went there with the intention to quit YouTube. To be honest, I was a little bit disappointed because I really did enjoy doing this stuff. But I decided to make a fresh start, see if because obviously when you go to do things like this, you know, those sort of things take priority. I thought I'd never have time. But eventually I realized that I did have a bit more time than I thought, so I thought I'd carry on the YouTube stuff, brought all my equipment and shit, started making videos. Eventually I managed to reach 10,000 subscribers after Modern Warfare 2 came out. And the channel kind of went from there. Machinima contacted me, asked me to, you know, enter their director program, all that kind of business. Eventually, uni started taking a back seat almost, because I really just didn't care much for it. I didn't like a lot of the people there. It wasn't a great place. It was a bit of a shithole, and I just really, really didn't want to be there. So I eventually had to make a harsh decision because it was almost putting me into a depression. I have this inhuman ability to bounce back from anything, which I'll talk about in a little bit. But this one thing was making me incredibly sad, so I decided it's time to do something. You can either carry on doing this and be depressed and very upset with what you're doing and not enjoy it, or you could make the decision to leave and do something else. So I left uni, I came home, I started doing YouTube more and more. My dad was writing me about not ever doing anything, just playing games all day, not getting a job. And then eventually, I was always like, oh, Machinima, they'll give me the money, they'll get the money through. And then eventually, just before I went back to uni, which is, I now go to Westminster Uni, I applied to go back to uni nearer home so I could live at home. Machinima started paying out, I got a job at Blockbuster. Everything was going well, you know, and the channel kept growing. It kept growing and growing, and I'm pretty much here today because I decided to, instead of taking a back seat with YouTube and put it away, put it in the closet, I decided to keep doing it, and here I am today. And I couldn't have asked for a better decision. It seemed like a terrible decision to come home. It seemed like a terrible decision to waste my life, or a year of my life, doing nothing and not really taking care of what I'm doing, but it is, in all retrospects, become one of the best decisions I ever made. So it is quite phenomenal, and because of this YouTube thing, I've met some incredible people, some incredible friends that I will always care and cherish and love for all the years to come. They mean a hell of a lot to me. I met some great people, been to some great events. I met someone a little while ago who, I won't lie, was a lady friend, and recently she kind of broke my heart a little bit. I won't go into too much details, but basically, if it wasn't for this YouTube thing, I wouldn't have met her. It was a bad decision, one that I kind of regret now. At the time, it was a good decision for about one day, I will say that much, and then for the rest of the time, it was just a bit of a torture fest, and basically, it just wasn't working. It just wouldn't have worked out. And, you know, looking back on it now, I can't help but laugh. But at the time, it seemed like a good decision. Right now, it seems like a very bad decision. I'm sure I will be good about it. It put me into a bit of a sad state, but I have that inhuman ability to just bounce back. One day, I'm as sad as anything. The next day, I'm bouncing back and saying, okay, let's move the fuck on. And that is one thing I have to say about YouTube and all you guys that have been with me for so long. You've helped me become the kind of person that I never thought I could be. I'll be honest, I was a very socially awkward person. I never knew what to do in a conversation. I never knew really how to engage in conversation with people, how to introduce myself, how to be something that I wasn't. You know, and now I can get up in front of a class of, I don't know, hundreds of people. I can talk my mind. I can speak to 100,000 people. Well, it's not really 100,000 people, but thousands of people. I have no problem getting up and embarrassing myself, or I have no problem talking to a bunch of people and being myself, because I always had this inner ability to be a crazy dude who could talk his mind and feel things and say things in a way, but I could never get the confidence to do it. And just by simply taking that decision to sit here one day and think, maybe these guys want to hear what I have to say with my voice instead of just watching a video. And that one decision has spiraled into what has made me into a, well, I don't like to toot my own horn too much, but quite an incredible transformation into quite a stable human being. I have to say, I thank you all greatly for the vast support. It is always appreciated, and you can just see that small decisions that seem like they are crashing down and burning your whole life away and everything seems bad, eventually that one decision leads you to such great things. And if I didn't have this YouTube channel, I wouldn't have had the opportunities to do what I do right now. If I didn't take the decision to do certain things and take certain actions, I wouldn't be what I'm doing, what I love to do right now. And for the first time in a long time, I'm pretty clear about what it is I want to do from that one simple decision. So that's something to think about over the weekend. So next time you're doing something, anything, you have a small decision, even if it's just a drink that you're buying at the bar or something, just think about how that could impact your life. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you later. Peace out.